Hello. So today I'll be showing you how to make a VRChat avatar in Medium and export it into Unity so you can wear it in VRChat. It's fairly straightforward. We'll just start by creating a basic avatar. So I'll trace out my body proportions. Actually, turn on a mirroring plane first. Help. So we only have to do this once. Sort of legs. Okay, so those are the rough proportions. And because this is a quick tutorial, I'll just grab some body stamps. We'll put it on another layer. Maybe we'll turn the mirroring off. Okay. Here's some feet. I'm not trying to make this perfect right now since it's just a tutorial. Oh, I have whole legs. So let's use those. Even quicker. Well, that's not the greatest thing in the world. We can clean it up a little bit, I suppose. Okay, it's silly looking, but that'll do for a tutorial. So now I will go ahead and save out my avatar. I'll save it as a medium sketch first. And then we will export. And we're done in VR. So I will close Medium and open up Blender. So we will just want to import that FBX, which will be located at this directory. So documents, medium. We can sort by date here, that should help. Oh right, this exports in OBJ. So we'll import OBJ. There it is. Now I'll just rotate this guy. Put him so his feet are on the ground. And he is very disproportionate. And then, this poly count is quite high. So what we'll do is go in and decimate it down by adding a decimate modifier over here, and then just turn down the number until we're happy with the poly count. That should be low enough. For him, we might be able to even go lower and have it look okay. Now you will lose detail like this when you do it like this, but trick we can do. I'll make a duplicate of this guy. Stick it over on a new layer. Remove the decimate modifier, so this is our base sculpt with all the detail, which could be quite a lot if you are bumping up the resolution in medium while you're sculpting. And then here's our decimated guy. We'll apply him. Now that's quite low poly and ready for a game. And we'll just hit U and Smart UV Project. So now we can go into a new tab here and create a new image. Here's the UVs we just generated. Make it a 2K image. Don't need an alpha channel. All this normals. This will be our normal map. And now that we have a texture assigned there, we'll select both layers, select the high poly mesh, then the low poly mesh. Go down to this first tab here, bake, normals, select to active, and click bake. So now you have normals that contain all of the high resolution detail from your mesh that are going to be projected onto the low resolution mesh. So it'll still look good even though your poly count is drastically reduced now. So now we just need to save this image out. And we'll go ahead and add a rig. So I will add an human rig, just rotate him to line up with it. I will go to the armature tab, click X-ray so I can see what I'm doing. Turn on X-axis mirror since he's mostly symmetrical. That'll get us started faster. And now we just sort of put the bones in the right place. Obviously he'd be a bit more proportionate and put together if you spent more time on this, but this is just a quick tutorial. So that's the base of the neck. Sorry, that's not. This is. So there's the base of your neck, that's the top of your neck, that's the top of your head. Here's your shoulder. Upper arm. Rotate the hand into place roughly. Go into the side view. Adjust things as needed. If you aren't familiar with how to navigate Blender, you can find some basic tutorials online that'll get you up and running with the interface. And past that, you should be able to manage by following along with this video, since we aren't doing anything too complicated here. So, ideally his legs would have been straight up and down here. I just didn't notice that they were crooked. You could have also fixed this in Blender here, but I'm not going to cover modeling in this tutorial. So I would suggest just making all your things line up in medium, if possible. So now's the fun part of aligning all of your hand bones. I'm pressing G to grab, but you could also just like grab by holding down right click and dragging. Okay. So that hand seems pretty good. Now it turns out he's fairly asymmetrical because I turned off symmetry mirror when placing things, which means I have to do this again for the other side. It's a good reason to keep symmetry mirror on, and you only have to set up your rig once instead of for each side of the mesh. So just sort of put the bones where it looks like you would have bones. Think about where your joints bend. Okay, so that's pretty okay. It'll be good enough for this rig anyway. So now we will select the armature, and so I will select the mesh first, then select the armature, and hit Control P and select automatic weights. So now, if you set your armature to pose mode, you can see that he bends all his bones as you would expect. And actually, because he is so bent, that could cause some issues. So I'm going to go ahead in pose mode and just straighten him out a little bit, so things go more smoothly. That looks fine. Maybe a bit of an angle in the knees. Okay, I think that's as good as we're going to get. So now I have to select all the bones and say apply pose as rest pose. This is in the spacebar menu. And actually, sorry, before we do that, Control Z, we want to apply this armature. And then select the bones, apply pose as rest pose, and then we add a armature modifier. So now he still bends and he's in the right pose, so things won't be super wonky in VRChat. So I will just save that out as tutorial guy, and we will go ahead and go into that folder and open up a new Unity project. We use Unity 5.3.4 P1, I believe. Yes. And I will just go ahead and drag in the texture and the blend file we made. And while that happens, at vrchat.net, you can click download here and grab the SDK. So you'll need this to actually import your models into VRChat from Unity. Pull that over on my other screen here. And then drag the Unity package over. So you just hit import. And that'll enable you to go ahead and import your model from Unity into VRChat where you can view it. And we're done with Blender now, so we can close this file. Okay, so that is imported. I'll drag our man into here, and okay, so Actually, we will open up the blend file because I forgot a step. So we want to delete the high poly model here. So we're just left with the low poly rigged model. Save that. Unity will not re-import because I dragged it in from another source, so I will delete that blend file. And then reopen it. Documents, medium, sculpts, tutorial. Okay. So I'll drag him into the scene again, and now he looks correct. If you're wondering why he's purple, it's because Unity put the normals on the wrong channel. We want it in this slot. Click the fix button, move it from this slot. Now you can dye him whatever color you want. And in the same baking dialog that you baked your normal maps, you can also bake down vertex color data if you've painted that in medium. We'll just leave it like this for now. I'll turn the light around so you can see the model a little better. There we go. So you can see we've got more detail than we had in just the geometry. It's not super noticeable here because he was fairly low poly to start with. Now, on your blend file here, you'll want to go up to Rig, Animation Type, and select Humanoid, click Apply. And then save your scene. And we'll go into Configure to make sure everything looks correct here. If you have a mouth bone or anything, you'll have to make sure that's assigned correctly. Or eyes, I don't here, so this looks good enough. Everything seems to be functioning as we expect. Okay, so now we just click on the guy up in the hierarchy and add an avatar descriptor. Now we'll have to log in. And once you're logged in, you can close the tab that popped open. And you'll want to set the eye height of your avatar. Now, I made him about as tall as I am, so this eye height's already fairly close. But we'll just go ahead and adjust it a little bit. Yeah, that's about right. Now we will go to the VRC SDK at the top here. Click on Show Build Control Panel. I'll just dock that over here so I can see it. Save my scene once more, and click Build and Publish. So now Unity is logging into the VRChat's online service. That may take a while, just be patient. Okay, now you can give your avatar a name. So I'll call this Tutorial Medium Guy. And you'll want to check this box and any of these tags that are relevant to you. Then, if you click back to your hierarchy, a camera has appeared. So you'll want to make sure the camera's pointing at the front of your avatar so you have a decent picture here before clicking upload. Okay, your avatar should now be uploaded with normal maps and any color data that you've baked in, and it's ready to look at in VRChat. So I will launch VRChat here. And put the headset back on. Okay, now I'm in VRChat, and I can go to Avatar, and now at the bottom here in my Avatars tab, you'll see I have the new medium avatar I built. So, I will walk over to the mirror so we can look at him and see how he turned out. I imagine he'll look a bit funny because of the proportions. Yes, he has very tiny legs. But, you can see hands work, your head rotates, we have all the fingers working fairly well, and your legs crouch and walk around. Okay, so that's the gist of it. Obviously, there's a lot more depth you can go into to make your things look better, but that's the basic process for getting an avatar from Medium into VRChat. Thanks, I'll see you later.